I'm going to be showing off the iTween Visual Editor, which is a Unity editor component that allows you to set up iTween tweens visually using the inspector versus having to set up code. I'm going to walk through the installation and then some basic usage of iTween, the editor. So the first thing we'll need is a copy of iTween. So I've got a copy here I downloaded from the website. The website, if you've never been there, is itween.pixelplacement.com. You can click on this download iTween button here at the top and it will download the CS file. Once you have that, go ahead and drag that into your project, and then you'll need the iTween Visual Editor, which is distributed as a Unity package. There's two ways to install that. You can either double click on the file here, or you can go up to Assets, Import Package. I'm going to go ahead and just double click on the file. So when you double click, it gives you a list of all of the files that will be imported. That's all fine. We're just going to click Import here. It will do the import process, and you'll see that two new folders have been added, the Editor folder and the iTween Editor folder. You don't really need to be concerned with the contents of that because everything can be added through the menus. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put a new object into our scene that we can tween. And to add a new iTween to this, we're going to go up to the component menu, and you'll see there's now an iTween submenu, and we can click iTween event, and that will add a new iTween event component to our cube. Let's just try a very simple tween. We're just going to move this along the x-axis 5 units. So we'll go up here and we'll click the play button, and we should see our cube does translate along the x-axis 5 units. That's a very simple tween. We might try something slightly more complex. What if we want to specify the amount of time it takes to go, and we might want a different kind of easing. So let's say a spring easing, so it will kind of bounce when it arrives at its destination. We run the tween again and we see that it does move slower. It's moving over 2 seconds and it bounces at the end. Most all of the tween types that exist in iTween are supported in the Visual Editor. Basically everything that makes sense to be configured visually like this. We could do something like we could shake the position, and we might shake that a certain amount. Or we might change the color of the block of the cube here. And this all works exactly as you would expect from the parameters. If you've used iTween before, the hash that you're passing in, that's all the exact same parameters that are here. So if you want to know what these things do, each of these parameters here, you can always go to the iTween webpage, go to the documentation, and then go look up. If we want to look up something like shake position, you can come here to shake position, and you can see what each of these parameters are doing. And the last thing I would point out is that you can have multiple tweens per object. So we can come down here and we could create a new iTween event, and we'll have 2 of them. So we could have a color 2, and we could also have, let's say, a move 2, and we could do both at the same time. So we're going to move and apply a color tween at the same time. There's no real limit to how many tweens you can have on a single game object, other than the fact that certain ones will fight against each other. You wouldn't want to try to do a shake and a move at the same time, as those would sort of compete with each other to try to place where the object is. You do have an option that's set automatically to play automatically. You can introduce a delay if you want to, so that you could put a delay on the start of the tween. This is separate from the delay that's one of the properties of the individual tweens. This allows you to just set sort of a global delay for that tween. And also, if you wanted to, you could set it to not play automatically. What that would allow you to do is to go through and configure all the options for your tween, and then trigger it via code. There's a play method on the iTween event component that would start the tween playing. So if you want to, you could come in here, configure it, make sure it looks good, and then turn off play automatically, and then trigger it through code. So the visual editor is still useful, even though you may not want to trigger it automatically. So there we see the color happens automatically, but the move is delayed 3 seconds. So you can independently set up the delays for each of your tweens.